today we're going to talk about 5 things about Lauderdale-by-the-Sea that you may not know.
And as we visit this little gem of a town, Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, we bet that there are at least 5 things that folks who are residents may not even know about. I'm Kev.
And I'm Suze.
And this is Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kev and Suze. Welcome to our channel. So as you can imagine, Lauderdale-by-the-Sea is a pretty small town. And actually, even though it's 1.5 square miles, it still has over 2.5 miles of beachfront. But what I'll bet you didn't know is that the beach is a Blue Wave certified beach, which means that it is more economically and more environmentally clean than most other beaches are. Now, as small as Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, or LBTS, one of the things that if you look around, you'll see that most of the buildings are only about 3 stories high. There may be 1 or 2 that were grandfathered in, but actually one of the things I bet you didn't know is that that's intentional. The whole idea that's based upon certain zoning and certain planning regulations. What they want to do is they want to have it so that everybody here in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, so that they can basically see everywhere in the island. You're not going to see a bunch of really, really tall buildings, 10, 12, 15-story buildings here in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. You'll see them on either side, Pompano Beach or Fort Lauderdale, but you're not going to see them here. Even some of the buildings that were built a while ago, some of the classic buildings, the classic townhomes, some of the classic condominium complexes that were built here, if you want to call them that, even they were only basically 2 or 3 stories tall. It's intentional that they actually controlled the height so that people could sit back here and they could relax, they can enjoy, they can see everything that they want to see.
It's a beautiful place.
And it truly is a beautiful place. The nice thing is that basically anywhere you are in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, you're going to see 1 of 2 things. If you look to the east, chances are you're going to see the Atlantic. And if you look to the west, you're going to see the Intercoastal Waterway. You're going to see water either way, which makes this a barrier island.
Right now, I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit distracted, but we've got a wedding going on.
I bet you didn't know that this little 1.5 square mile island has 4 parks. That's a lot of parkland in a very, very small area. And the parks are basically like this. Beautiful parks in nature. They're set out so that everybody can enjoy them.
And it sits right on the ocean.
Well, there's no shortage of places to stay here in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. As you can see as we drive around, you'll see a bunch of little mom and pop, family-owned hotels and motels. Some of these have been here for decades, even longer. And I bet you didn't know this. There is only 1 full-service hotel here next to Plunge Resort. Plunge Resort's actually kind of a cool, very cool concept. There's actually 3 different buildings that have 3 different motifs, that it has a huge plunge pool over across the street from the hotel. There's about 163 rooms here in the hotel. If it's something you're interested in, I would encourage you to look into it and basically look to reserve something pretty far out, because it takes a while to find a room here and get in here. We're gonna go ahead and check out the plunge pool at the Plunge Resort. They actually have a bar, and a restaurant and a bar that's open to the public. One of the many restaurants and bars, which we'll talk about in a few minutes here in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. Here we are at the Plunge Resort. Actually, we're at the Plunge Resort Beach, which is right next to the Plunge Resort Pool, which is right next to one of the 3 different Plunge Resorts buildings. It's a wonderful little area. Folks are kind of hanging out here. The bar and the grill down here is open up to the public. The pool, of course, is reserved for hotel guests. But again, it's one of the few full-service hotels, about 163 rooms. We've been here once or twice before to kind of check it out. It's very, very nice. It's a very, very cool thing. But one of the coolest things is they actually have their own semi-private beach here. So if you're staying at the Plunge Resort, you can have beachfront access or beach access. You can kind of hang out, see what's going on, play some volleyball here, go check out the beach down here with all of the umbrellas and everything else. So yeah, it's just a wonderful place to kind of hang out on a Saturday or Sunday or any weekday that you're down visiting here in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. One of the things at Lauderdale-by-the-Sea is not small or short on restaurants and variety of dining. There's basically, with over 35 restaurants here, there's all kinds of variety of cuisine. There's basically all kinds of places you can go. Everything from the casual dining like Aruba Beach Cafe, Anglo's Cafe at the pier, to some of the fine dining like Kalu's or Blue Moon Fish Company, and just about everything in between. You can check out some of our favorites like Mulligan's Beach House, Sea Watch, which is great, the Village Pub and Grill, Taco Craft. Don't take our word for it. Walk around, check everything out yourself. Let us know which ones you guys think is the best, and let us know what your hidden gem is. I'll give you a hint. On ours, it's the Panadoci Bakery. It's not to be missed. The cappuccino is fantastic. The Italian pastries are unbelievable and unforgettable. That's our little gem. We've been making the most about the size of Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, or actually, more accurately, the lack of size of Lauderdale-by-the-Sea.
Size doesn't matter.
It truly is. I mean, it's a very, very quaint little town. In fact, it's so small that you really don't need to have a car here, okay? I mean, everything that you need is pretty much within walking distance. All the hotels and resorts are located either on or very, very close to the beach, so you can kind of check all those out there. Walking down some of these nice little avenues down here, you can see some of the hotels and the churches and basically everything is here. I mean, there's also bikes that you can rent to get around. They do have what is known as the Pelican Hopper Trolley, the little bus that kind of runs around in addition to folks that are basically running oversized golf carts all around town from restaurant to restaurant and bar to bar. And then if you do want to venture outside of Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, you can go ahead and check out the Sun Trolley, which will take you down to Fort Lauderdale or at the Pompano Beach, some of the other local areas for shopping and restaurants and stuff like that, and then bring you on back. Now, there is a charge for that. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it varies. But again, you can see how everything is just so nice and well contained. Very, very easy to get around, walk around. Recognized as South Florida's beach diving capital, Lauderdale-by-the-Sea is a mecca for anybody who's coming down here who is going to be scuba diving or snorkeling or anything like that. With reefs that start as shallow as a couple of 10 or 15 feet and about 100 yards off of the beach here, it's basically you can walk on out and go snorkeling or go scuba diving if you like. One of the kind of things that's kind of cool that I bet you didn't know is that there's actually an artificial reef here called BioRock, and they built it in here specifically, and they use like sunlight, they use all kinds of enhancements to basically make the reef grow quicker and grow faster and become more part of the area around here. The other thing I bet you didn't know is that actually the reef that's created here was actually dedicated by John Michael Cousteau, one of the son of Jacques Cousteau, a world famous adventurer and diver and ecologist around here. So yeah, so it's been endorsed by those that are in the know, and it's just an incredible place to go. You can take a look out here, you can see just how beautiful the water is. As a matter of fact, on the weekends, especially during the high season, it's not unusual at all to see folks walking through the town itself with the scuba gear, with the snorkel gear in tow and stuff like that. There's all kinds of folks that just kind of pull up right here to the beach area, unload their car, unload their truck, get ready to go out on a little reef dive or a little beach dive. So it's just an incredible place, incredible things to see. Lauderdale-by-the-Sea is more than just great places to stay and great places to eat. From the Atlantic Ocean to the Intercoastal Waterway, with beautiful marine sculptures along the street, you'll also find a bunch of locally owned shops and places to go kind of hang out, like artisan jewelry, little clothing shops, little boutiques and stuff like that with gift items, ice cream shops and bakeries as well. Okay, there's like you have 4 parks here that are on the island. Basically, you have the Friend Park, El Prado Park, Laura Ward Park, and the Washington Beach. Keep in mind, all of these areas have been designed with relaxation in mind. Everything from the beach to the main area where you can sit in the oversized Adirondack chairs and chat with your friends and watch folks. You can take pleasure in watching all the people playing on the beach and playing in the playgrounds around here. You can enjoy live music at all the various restaurants throughout the area. And on Friday nights, throughout most of the times, they shut down the streets so that you can check out, kind of hang out with some of the bands, some tribute bands, some live bands that come out. It's just a great place. It's a wonderful place to be. It's a family friendly for all ages. You'll have a great time here no matter what you do. As a matter of fact, it's pretty laid back and pretty casual. They refer to themselves as a flip-flop town. Whether you're coming down here for a visit, for a weekend, for a week, for a month, or whether you're looking to relocate down here, you will always find some little gems or some little things that on your own. And when you do, feel free to share them with us and drop us in the space below. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, see ya.